Oh man, I really want to be part of the superhero group. I mean, I've tried out a bunch of times for a few different ones and just never get the call back. But I know this time's going to be my time. It's going to be my time.
Okay. You need to just calm down.
I can't help it. I'm just so excited.
Well, I'll tell you what. If you wanna calm down, just chill out for a minute. What you should do is listen to the Podbros Network.
The Podbros Network.
Yeah, they've got tons of different podcasts. They've got stuff about video games, stuff about movies. They've even got Pencil and Ink Reviews, which is one about comic books, which is about superheroes, which is what you are.
Oh, there's a podcast I can be on, huh?
Sure. I mean, you'd have to chill out a bit, but okay.
Sweet. I'm going to download those right now.
All right. Sounds good.
So what's your superpower, by the way?
Oh, me, I say sentences that are slightly homoerotic. I like penis.
Maybe we should just listen to the Podbros Network.
I like penis. What's up, everybody? I'm Richard.
And I am Sean.
And we're speaking the language of bromance.
So Richard, our show, there are certain staples for our show.
Yeah.
You know, every episode that ends in a 3 and an 8, what do? We draft. You know, every springtime around Comic-Con, we'll do an LOB Hall Comic-Con episode. During Halloween, we'll do a Broloween episode. And at the end of the year, what do we like to do? We like to preview the next year with our great leader, the King of the North from the Podbros Network, John. John, welcome to the show.
I tell you what, man, winter is coming.
It's cold as fuck outside.
The King of the North, I was going to say, like, holy shit, the King, I like that. You should put that on a business card.
yes, right under my name, owner, King of the North. But no, it's great to be on the show, guys. Thanks for having me again.
Yeah, we did a Bro Huddle episode last year where we talked about some amazing movies coming up for this year. Jurassic World was one of them. The new Star Wars that just came out was one of them. So what we'd like to do for this, because we don't like to look at the past, because we've got 52 episodes, you can look at the past. We want to look to the future, because that's what the Bromance team does. We look to the future.
In the age of tomorrow.
So there's a lot of comic booky movies coming out next year, and I think I want to lead off, if I can, with a series or a product that I am a huge fan of. This let me down tremendously about 2 years ago.
It's the fleshlight, isn't it?
Yeah, it's a fleshlight. I broke it. Even it wouldn't sleep with me.
Aww.
I was wanting to talk about it. The trailer just dropped for it. The new Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles Out of the Shadows movie coming out in June or July. One of those 2 months.
Yeah, there was that. Honestly, I think John and I both want to hear what you have to say first.
Yes, please.
Well, it was. It definitely made me feel like I was watching the cartoon come to life in that trailer. Megan Fox seemed a little bit more April-y. Arrow's playing Casey Jones, which makes me a little nervous because it's probably going to be difficult to see him and not see Arrow. But Bebop and Rocksteady, I mean, I'm glad they actually showed them right away, and they look like the cartoon characters.
Yes.
Yeah.
And I know both you guys were both big fans of the cartoon, or were you kind of hit or miss on it?
Oh, I'm a huge fan.
Yeah, I loved the cartoon when I was a kid.
Yeah.
So I know Rich hasn't seen the first movie yet, but have you seen it, John?
Yes, I did.
And thoughts on the first movie?
Exactly like yours.
Okay. So you've seen the new trailer then?
Yes. Yeah, I was speaking with my wife about it when we were watching it, and I said, this trailer makes the movie look so 100 times better than that first movie that came out. And I think they did a good job with the trailer at least, and I'm looking forward actually to the sequel. This might be one of those times where the sequel is definitely better than the first one.
Oh God, I hope so. And I noticed that they didn't put a 2 at the end of it, so they didn't say Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles 2.
Yeah.
So I wonder if this is almost like a soft reboot. So they're going to kind of ignore everything that happened and just this is really the first movie.
Yeah. I think that you're hoping too hard. I think that you're sailing too close to the sun on wings of wax, my friend.
Well, when it says produced by Michael Bay and the first thing you see is cars exploding, it makes me a little nervous.
Yeah.
But you got the van.
The van looks sweet. The foot soldier are actually soldiers now.
Yes.
It appears like the Shredder is going to be the actual Shredder, and they won't have to do any reshoots to change who the Shredder is going to be.
Yeah, it looks good. I mean, like I said, I feel the trailer makes it look like it's something hopeful, and for all the wrestling WWE fans too, you get Sheamus in there as well.
Yes. I heard he didn't do the motion capture. He just did the voice of that because I guess he had wrestling stuff he had to do. But
yeah, probably.
He didn't say anything specific in the trailer that I remember, but it seems like he's a pretty good choice.
Yeah, I mean, he looked like he was going to be a good choice. I was wondering if they're actually going to keep his Irish accent or not, or if he was going to try to attempt something else. I hope he doesn't. Yeah,
that's what I was going to ask, because he does speak with a pretty heavy Irish accent in the WWE, right?
Yeah, he's straight from Ireland.
Okay, because the new cartoon, Rocksteady is Russian, and in the original series, he was just kind of like a Bronx, American accent.
Yes, yeah. Exactly.
So it will be interesting to see if they do give him an Irish accent, or if he tries to get rid of it.
Yeah, or he does a very terrible Russian accent. Actually, I kind of want to see that. I want to see an Irishman try a Russian accent,
like that Euro trashy kind of accent.
Yes.
Well, I gotta say, Sean, I think John agrees with me. I think we're both kind of pulling for you because, like, we got a movie. John and I got a movie that that we both love. That continued on. Like we got Star Wars Episode 7. Like,
yes,
we're hoping that you get your Episode 7 too, Sean.
Yes.
I'm hoping.
Yes. I remember us talking about that last year too, and how excited we were. And it really, to me, I'll speak for myself. It lived up to the hype.
Yeah, I mean it did. I mean, we could spend the next hour talking about it, but we're not. We're looking to the future.
That's right.
But yes, a year ago, we're both like, yay, Star Wars. And we're both like, God, we hope it's good.
Yes, yeah.
Look at that lightsaber. That looks amazing.
Yeah. I was very, very much crossing my fingers that BB-8 was not the next Jar Jar Binks.
Oh, that's right. That was the discussion, wasn't it?
Oh yeah, but it paid off. It so paid off when that's the little shot with the lighter. That's when I was like, "Yep, I'm sold."
Yes,
I'm sold.
Yep.
I'm a BB-8 fan all day long.
Yes, man. Oh, so good.
So yeah, so John and I are both hoping that you get your Episode 7, Sean. I'm actually curious. Is one of the reasons. Because we've talked about Episode 7, and you were saying, like, this makes me want to be a Star Wars fan. Is it because of the Turtles movie that you're like, I got to find something else to love? I have to.
That has a little bit to do with it.
But maybe you get it with this one.
Hope so. That's what I'm hoping for.
We're pulling for you. We're pulling for
yes. You. Yeah.
So what is there any specific movie you guys are looking forward to for next year?
For me, probably, and this is like, I think this is like late 2016. I mean, out of the Marvel movies that are coming out, I'm pulling for Doctor Strange.
Oh, nice.
Ooh,
yeah. I haven't seen anything on it except for maybe some photographs.
Yeah, like they just released the art with
just some like conceptual drawings and stuff like that.
Is there anybody big playing Doctor Strange, or they just find some nobody to play that, or what's the deal there?
See, you know what? You see what he's doing here? He's baiting me. Fucking Benedict Cumberbatch.
Oh yeah, that's right.
Cumberbatch.
You haven't talked about your love in a couple episodes, so I thought I'd let you yell his name.
Man.
You have to talk to his wife about that, John. His wife is kind of annoyed that every time he climaxes, he yells Benedict Cumberbatch.
You know what? That may be true. But every time she climaxes, she screams out Jason Momoa. So
yeah. Well.
Which segues to Aquaman, but I feel like I should stick with Doctor Strange for a second.
That's odd because every time I climax, I say the same thing.
Yeah, you're all about some Jason. You're like, Drogo!
Yeah. So Doctor Strange.
I mean, I think that's going to be a Marvel movie that taps into something new. You're gonna see, because with Iron Man, you kind of have like that, that science-y kind of like, let's build a thing, let's build this suit, and it seems like each Marvel movie is kind of a genre picture with superheroes in. I mean, Can we not all agree that the Winter Soldier was like it was a Jason Bourne movie with superheroes in it?
Yeah, exactly.
Yes.
And so I think that this is going to be your magic movie. This is going to be like your fantasy kind of movie. Guardians of the Galaxy was a very science fiction movie. This is going to be your fantasy movie with a superhero in it.
Well, I think that's going to be another one, too, that nobody really knows what to expect, because Doctor Strange isn't Captain America or Iron Man. It's not that famous character. So you can get away with telling that origin story because not too many people really understand. No, not too many people know the origin story of Doctor Strange.
Right. Yeah, definitely. And that's kind of how they got away with Guardians of the Galaxy. And look how popular that got. No one knew about it. Us Marvel fans were like, is this really a good idea that they're gambling with Guardians of the Galaxy? And, well, they shut us all up.
Yeah, all of us were like, Guardians, that's the one with the fucking raccoon in it.
Yeah.
And now we're all psyched for Guardians of the Galaxy too. We're like, holy shit, they're coming out with the movie that's got the raccoon in it.
Yes, yeah. And who is it? They wanted Kurt Russell, I think.
Oh yeah, that's what I heard.
They want him to play Chris Pratt's father. So,
that's such a good pick.
Yeah, man. Yeah, that gets me excited.
Awesome. I haven't heard that. That's amazing.
Yeah.
Jack Burton is Star-Lord's dad.
Yeah, one of the movies that I'm excited for, and it's still in the Marvel realm, it's obviously the one that I think a lot of people are excited for as well, is Captain America Civil War, just because I'm a huge Cap fan, and I'm going to see how they handle it compared to what they did in the comic books, because already it seems like it's something different.
Yeah, I just got to see the trailer during the Star Wars movie, and I mean, that's something I'm getting pretty pumped for, because it's really Avengers 3, but it's not going to be the happy-go-lucky, oh shit, we screwed something up, let's fix it. It's going to be the two sides battling each other, and like, what side are you going to be on?
Right. Yeah, it was such a well-done story in the comics. I mean, I think Civil War was kind of one of those storylines that made a lot of people go back to comics. I mean, that was a story where it's like, oh, they're fighting each other? Like Cap and Iron Man are going head to head against each other? Like, this is interesting. Like, I mean, it was kind of you have those big, company crossover where like, where Marvel has like, I'm trying to think, like Onslaught or the Infinity Gauntlet series, and DC has like, Crisis on Infinite Earths and things like that. And this was one of their, I think Civil War was one of Marvel's bigger title series that kind of put a lot of stuff on its head, especially Cap. That changed the whole Cap storyline.
Yeah.
For the rest of the series.
Because he got actually shot in that, didn't he? In that storyline?
Yeah.
And that's what I hope they do with this, because I really feel like Marvel's kind of, obviously everyone's, $200 million movie, but it feels like the storylines have kind of gotten stagnant. So I really hope they use this to just throw a big wrench in the whole Marvel universe and actually kill somebody or, change the story up to make it move in a different direction.
Right. Yeah. And I do see that happening. I mean, it's possible that it doesn't, but Sean, like you said, this is one of those things that Marvel, and Disney, isn't going to be able to keep relying on, oh, hey, this is just a Marvel money-making machine. It's going to reach a point where people are going to be like, you know what, I'm kind of done with this. It's just the same Marvel story. It's like the one thing that is starting to become an ongoing joke, though, is that no matter what movie they put out, all the trailers are the same.
Yeah.
It's like, here's some action, here's a bit of comedy, here's a little bit of the story. And it's like you can play all of them together and you can see the formula of it. I really think Civil War is going to, like you said, throw a monkey wrench into things.
Well, because, all the movies, like Ant-Man, I think kind of really shows that it's somebody that is getting power and somebody that wants the power, and they both now have similar powers, and they fight a battle to the end, and the bad guy loses. That's kind of what the theme has been in a lot of these movies.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, are we getting superhero burnout? I mean, are we seeing the beginning stages of burnout from seeing superhero movies?
I certainly hope not, but I also am really worried about Batman versus Superman, because that might be the start of it right there.
That's the over the hill or the jumping the shark moment.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was on my list. I'm excited to see Batman versus Superman.
Oh, me too.
The newest trailer kind of, it's like I basically feel like I've seen the movie now.
That's exactly what I was gonna say. Like it's a 3.5 minute trailer, and it's a 3-act trailer.
Yes.
It's you get I've gotten the entire movie out of that trailer. Batman's pissed at Superman. Superman, fights Batman. Lex Luthor shows up, builds Doomsday. Doomsday starts to, fuck shit up. And then Batman and Superman are like, well, let's team up to beat Doomsday. Oh, and there's this other girl that shows up.
Yeah. One thing, too, a buddy and I were talking about this, was the fact that maybe we're so spoiled with Disney CGI, with the Marvel stuff, that to me, Doomsday just looked like he came from 2008.
Yeah, Doomsday did not look well at all.
I've heard a lot of people say, too, it's like, oh, well, they're just probably not done with it yet. And that movie's been rated, and it is in the can, so it's finished. That's the Doomsday you're getting.
That's the Doomsday you're getting. Because I saw that, too. I was like, people were saying, well, it's probably, an early, maybe a mid-stage CGI of Doomsday. And people are like, no, since that movie's been rated, it's locked. Like, you're not getting anything different.
Yeah, and
then you're trying to justify it. You're like, well, maybe I just saw it in a bad light in a dark theater.
Yes, yeah, and it was originally going to go out against Civil War, but I think they moved it, didn't they?
Yeah, they moved it to May. I think Civil War is in March.
Yeah. Let me look real quick. I think Civil War is in May.
Originally they were supposed to go head to head, like release the exact same week, because DC announced this is the date for Batman v Superman, and so then Marvel was like, okay, well, this is the date for Civil War. And so then I want to say that the DC was the one that moved the date.
Yeah, because May 6th is Civil War and March 25th is Dawn of Justice. So Batman v Superman moved back a week or two.
Oh, and the other thing I want to say about Civil War is, can Tony Stark stop having an opinion about things? Because it seems like whenever he has an opinion about something, that's when shit goes wrong. You know, like the first Avengers movie, he's like, I'm going to build this tower because I think it'll be awesome. And then they use that tower to invite aliens to show up. In Avengers 2, he's like, I think I want to build this robot because I think that this robot's going to be awesome. And then the robot decides to turn deadly and kill everybody.
Now he wants all the superheroes to sign up and, reveal their secret identities.
Right.
Nothing can go wrong with that.
Like, Tony Stark just needs to stop because, he's one of the smartest people on the planet. Like, at some point, isn't he just going to sit down and be like, why is it every time I try and do something, I fuck shit up?
What were you guys' thought on Black Panther in that?
I
thought it looked good.
Yeah. Yeah, I got excited about it. I'm a Black Panther fan. I think what really cemented me as a Black Panther fan, believe it or not, was actually Black Panther did a run in Daredevil, actually, and they kind of switched spots. Matt Murdock ends up going crazy with Shadowland, and then decides to just leave town, and T'Challa comes in and takes over. So he's now the new Man Without Fear. And so I got really introduced to the character there, and I started reading more and more of him, looking kind of back at stuff. Saw him have a decent role in World War Hulk, part of the Illuminati and all that. And I really was like, man, I can't wait to see this guy on the screen. So when I got to see him, I was like, oh, yeah.
So I guess this is kind of off topic, but it sounds like you're a big superhero fan, John. I try to get into superhero comics, but the thing that always, and maybe it's just because I'm in the wrong ones, but to me with superhero comics, it always feels like they build up to a really, really big like climax, and then it's just like a quick issue to tie everything up.
Yeah.
Like Hawkeye, I read that for a little bit, and that kind of felt like it did that. The Batman series tend to seem to do that. The new run of Captain America kind of felt like it did that.
Yeah, you do get that, and especially lately, and it's actually, I think it ties into the previews of 2016, because what we're seeing with Marvel, and one of the things that I totally dislike about this is that they've been doing this ongoing Secret Wars, which is turning Marvel's story on its side, and we're starting completely new. It's kind of like how DC tried with the New 52, except Marvel's trying to put that closed chapter on, but they kept pushing back Secret Wars, and it was 8 issues originally, and then they moved it to 9 issues, and the 9th issue still hasn't come out. But what we're seeing is new number ones coming out of what's happening after Secret Wars. So you're sitting there and you're rattling your brain, and you're like, this is just poor planning. And I mean, sometimes this happens, and it's happened a lot of times. But another thing that really is poor planning is these situations where we have people like you, Sean, that try to get into superhero comics, and you're trying to convince your friends, no, this isn't like the old stuff. This isn't like the 90s, or this isn't like your father's comic books. This is actually kind of new and pop culture, and it's up to date, and it's fun, and it's adult oriented. And then you get a series where you're sitting there and you're reading, and then it's like premature ejaculation.
Yeah, exactly.
It's like, baby, I'm going to wet your whistle. You're getting into the foreplay, and then all of a sudden it's just, and you're like, oh, that's how it is. And that's not good. And it's rush jobs. It's having too many writers on too many books. And I think what we're starting to see now is that either big name writers are going off, and they're kind of doing almost like the 90s again, going over to Image to create their own stuff. And then you have Disney and Marvel, who have this stranglehold on their characters, and they're like, no, you can't do that with our character. And so we're starting to see like those Hickmans and Bendises and Fractions and Brew Breakers breaking off and doing their own thing. And the good thing is we're starting to see new writers take on roles in Marvel, but you're also, with all these great writers leaving, what do you have to back that up?
Well, it's interesting because, like, it seems, movies, they always say, oh, let's reboot it, and they start it from scratch. It doesn't seem like they do that with comics. Like, I tried to get into, the New 52, they had Batman #1. I'm like, okay, I'm starting from scratch. I'm getting up to date. But Batman #1, all that stuff that already happened is still canon. It's still there.
Yeah.
But you just don't know about it unless you kind of look around on the internet or you try to read all those old comics.
Yeah, and I definitely agree with you. I think DC does a worse job than Marvel. That's not to say, I'm not scapegoating Marvel, because Marvel has done some terrible jobs with that as well. Where Flash, that was one of those things. I wanted to jump onto Flash, and they were just rehashing that out. And I was like, I know nothing about the Flash, and this book doesn't help me at all. And so Marvel is starting to do the same thing. And it's like, wait, you guys, you're trying to build up these new storylines, but you're not going to get new readers when they read issue 1. They have no clue what's going on, because you're still like, oh, well, all this stuff happened in the past, and you should read that.
Well, and also I think they might be trying a bit too hard to tie, and Marvel, I think Marvel's probably more guilty of this than DC. I think they're trying too hard to tie it into the cinematic universe. I think that I think that Marvel's trying to steer. They're trying to steer their ship so that way their movies and their comics are collectively one thing.
Yes.
But I mean, just keep them separate. I mean, not everybody that goes and sees the movie is going to pick up a comic, and not everybody that reads the comic is going to go see the movie. Like, there's nothing. I don't think there's anything wrong with keeping those worlds separate, because I think if you go see the movie and then go pick up a comic, it's not going to be too hard for you to kind of figure out your footing as to where you're going to be, where the character is at that point.
Yeah, no, I totally agree with you. It's one thing that I hope, and they can say all they want about this, but it's complete horseshit. You are seeing like Fox still owning the rights to the X-Men.
Right.
And if it wasn't for that, if Marvel did not have the rights back with the X-Men, we wouldn't be seeing this huge push for Inhumans.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Completely. Well, they completely stopped making Fantastic Four, right? As a comic book.
Yeah. They equated that to just bad sales, and they're like, we'll do it again, but it's like, oh, okay, well, that's kind of coincidental that you kind of stop all this when Fox is putting out this new Fantastic Four movie. That they didn't need to stop doing that because it bombed on its own.
Yes, it did.
Well, I heard, didn't they nix, or there's an order in Marvel right now to not create new X-Men characters?
Yes.
Because if you create a new X-Men character, they can't use that for the movies.
Yeah. Chris Claremont came out and said that.
They can't even use the word mutant.
Yeah, no.
Like in Marvel movies and like Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. and stuff like that, they can't even, you can't even say the word mutant. They can't call people with powers, they can't call them mutants, they call them Inhumans, or they call them enhanced, or they use all these other terms because they can't say mutant.
But I mean, I guess one thing though too that I'm excited about for 2016 is the restart of Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. because for a series that started off with season 1 going very slow and made me questioning if it's going to be a success or not, to me, it's done a really good job, and they already had their mid-season finale, so I can't wait till that starts up again.
Yeah. Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D., it started off slow until Winter Soldier, and then it's like a bomb dropped, bomb of awesome, and then you're like, holy shit, this show's good. Yeah. I didn't even realize it was good until this movie.
Yeah.
Why did they do that? They tricked. Yeah, Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. looks good. If we're going the Marvel TV route, Daredevil Season 2.
Oh, yes. John, I know you're excited for that because I know you're a big Punisher fan, right?
Oh, yeah.
So I've only seen, I think there's only one clip of the guy playing Punisher, and it's his back like cocking a shotgun. What are your thoughts about, I don't know what his name is off the top of my head, but the guy from Walking Dead who's playing Punisher, what are your thoughts on that?
I'm still mixed about it, but I do have total confidence because at first I was mixed about them choosing the guy for Matt Murdock.
Gotcha.
And I still am mixed because my wife was like, ooh, I really like Daredevil now. And so, but no, I think that guy is an actor, and it's terrible because I can't remember his name off the top of my head either, though. I like him. He's done some other stuff. He's done some funny things. He was in that movie with Mark Wahlberg and The Rock, the Pain and Gain or something like that. He played a small role in there, and I really enjoyed him in that too. And I think he can do a great Punisher. He came out on Twitter and he released just a still photo, and it was one of the photos from the Garth Ennis run of Punisher, and it looked badass.
Nice.
To me, I really liked Ray Stevenson as the Punisher, and I know depending on what Marvel fan you talk to, they might slap me, but that guy, he just kind of looked like it. But to actually Shane, when you think of it, and I'm sorry that I'm calling him by his Walking Dead name, but
John
he looks
Barenthal.
Like... What's his name?
John Barenthal.
Oh, that's an easy one to remember, John. So when you look at John, he looks like he's Italian. Frank's Italian. So, I mean, it should go hand in hand, right?
Yeah, he doesn't seem as muscular as what. And here I am talking about a man's muscular abilities, but he doesn't seem as big as what the Punisher is. But I mean, that might make it a little bit more realistic instead of cartoony.
Yeah.
Now I know why Sean likes Daredevil.
Yeah.
It's okay.
I'm so excited for season 2.
It's 2015. We can discuss this stuff.
It's all right. It's all right.
Looks like I need a little punishing myself.
I
guys
mean,
are just
okay,
rude.
like Punisher stuff aside, like I'm just psyched for that show because that first season was done so well that I want to see like where they go with that story. You know, are they gonna bring Wilson Fisk back? Are they gonna, introduce all, new villains? Are they gonna put, I heard they're teasing Elektra, so are you gonna have the Hand? You kind of got a little bit of the Hand in season 1. Are you gonna see there's Wilson Fisk, Elektra, are you gonna see Bullseye? Are you gonna see, I mean, you can even bring in, villains from Spider-Man's world at that point. Like, what are you going to see?
Do they have full access to the Spider-Man kind of stuff, or do they just have access to Spider-Man?
Probably not all of it, I'm going to guess. Like, the bigger villains, I doubt they're going to be able to bring over. Like, Elektra was in Daredevil for a bit, but I doubt he's, you're not going to see him. But then again, I mean, you have this deal between Marvel and Sony. I mean, you got Spider-Man's going to cameo in Civil War.
Yeah.
So I mean, who knows? I mean, they might have worked it to get, some villains, some of Spider-Man's rogues gallery to stick in, maybe put in Daredevil.
Yeah, it's quite a possibility, and that's where I kind of nerd out a lot, because a lot of these licenses that they have to do with their intellectual property, it's behind closed doors, and we only get a little bit of pieces and whatnots about it, so we don't get to see the whole thing. So when even though I like seeing like a villain come out that's usually in the Spider-Man universe, and you get that in Daredevil, I geek out about that, but I also geek out like, oh man, that was a Spider-Man property that they must have been able to license.
Right.
I just feel like there's got to be a team of lawyers in each of these companies, trying to figure out loopholes to get these characters to go wherever they need to go.
Oh yeah, it's a bit of cut and dry stuff, but sometimes it's pretty exciting whenever you get to see like sneak peeks and stuff into licenses, if you get that opportunity, because like I said, it's all confidential, and it's really something that it's like, unless it already happened, like stuff from the 90s that gets released somehow, maybe Marvel releases it and you get to read it and you're like, oh my god, I can't believe they put that in there, but that's the lawyer nerd in me, so sorry guys.
So one of the other big movies that I'm excited for, it's coming out in February. It's a Marvel property that Fox owns, so hopefully they don't fuck it up, but it's going to be, I think, the first rated R movie recently, the new Deadpool movie.
Yes.
With what's his name?
Ryan Reynolds.
Ryan Reynolds, yes. I mean, the two trailers have sold me, and the fact that he's doing like the 12 days of Deadpool.
Yeah.
I mean, he is that character.
Yes.
Oh, and plus the video of him trick or treating.
Yeah.
Oh my god.
On Halloween.
Yeah.
Oh, that was great.
Yeah, they actually salvaged that character. The one thing that just really pissed me off, and it is like a stereotypical, oh, you Marvel fan, you're just mad because it's not exactly like the book. I was like, no, they actually butchered this character. That was not Deadpool. And it's nice to see.
Hard.
Yeah. It's nice to see them, number one, poking fun at that, and number two, going back to who Wade Wilson is and using Ryan Reynolds as Wade Wilson, because even though a lot of people have been like, I really don't want him to play it. It was like, no, he's the perfect guy. Even Deadpool said, Wade Wilson himself said it in the comic. He's like, if I ever was a movie, I want Ryan Reynolds to play me. And I was like, that's perfect.
I mean, and Deadpool is such it's a hard movie to do, because not only do you have to, make it, it's a property that has to have an R rating.
Yeah.
Because that's just the tone of the book. Not just that, but this is a character that constantly does that fourth wall kind of breaking, where he talks to the audience. And so it's a hard movie to do, because you have to basically poke fun you have to poke fun at the superhero thing itself, but also understand that you're in a movie, so you have to kind of poke at that too.
Mm-hmm.
But if you do it too much, then it just comes off as hokey.
Yeah.
So, yeah, because it's hit or miss, because if the audience doesn't get it, then it's going to completely fall flat on its face. So the audience really has to get that.
Yeah, and I mean, even in the trailer, when he's laying flat on the gurney and they're wheeling him in, he's like, don't make it green. Don't make the suit green. I'm like,
or animated.
Yeah. And oh man, the one thing too with it being rated R is you obviously do lose some of your audience there, because, well, it's one of those things, and they witnessed that with The Punisher, that you're only going to be getting basically the male 17 to 34 area, because it's rated R or accompanied by an adult. And
right.
that's the gamble that they take. But I think the thing that Deadpool has, whereas Punisher does not, is that comedic value that I think parents are a little bit more going to be able to be one of those where, okay, I'll take you to the movie, not realize that it's rated R, and then when the mom's sitting there 15 minutes into the movie and there's been about 10 fuck words thrown around, and she goes, oh no, what did I do? I didn't mean to take you to this.
I mean, not only the language, but I mean, it looks violent.
Yeah.
Like it looks like a violent movie.
Yes. Yeah.
That just reminds me back to when I went and saw what was the movie? What's the superhero movie based from the 80s? Sorry. The guy who did 300
Watchmen.
Watchmen, thank you. I went and saw Watchmen, and behind me there was a grandma and her son, or her grandson. And so I didn't, I never look at ratings because I'm over 18. I didn't realize it was a rated R movie. And all of a sudden you see this big blue dick on the screen. And you look back and the grandma's walking out with her grandson. I kind of feel like that's going to happen with this movie.
Yes. Yeah, I agree. I definitely agree.
I'm sure he'll preface it at the beginning. It'll be Ryan Reynolds in the Deadpool costume being like, look, I'm going to say fuck, and I'm going to say it a lot. There's a chance you might see a boobie in here. Shit like that.
Yeah.
I'm going to smell my guns and talk about masturbating. It's just going to happen. If that makes you uncomfortable, please leave.
Well, yeah, I mean...
You're not getting a refund.
Even the poster, too. It's a shot of his junk, basically, in a gun hanging down where his dick is.
Isn't the tagline like dropping a load on?
Yeah.
I mean, you have to do that. If you're going to go all in with that kind of movie, you can't just, make it a soft R. You have to go all out and make it a hard R movie.
Yeah.
What's good about that, though, if that's successful, you're going to see more of those type of movies, because maybe Marvel will be okay with, making that R-rated Punisher movie. But
you look at, you're talking about that. Look, Daredevil, I would say, is for a much more mature audience.
Yeah.
And Jessica Jones, even more so.
Yeah.
I haven't seen, but I've heard there's some very risque scenes in Jessica Jones.
Oh yeah. It's not. There's no nudity, but it's sexy. That show's sexy.
Yeah, definitely.
And I will say, it's one of the few shows that my wife actually kind of got into. Like, my wife both of us were. Watch Jessica Jones. We binged it.
Yeah, same here. We did the same, and we thoroughly enjoyed it as well. it reminded me the Netflix series of movies slightly reminds me of when Marvel did the Max series. And the Max series was basically more of an adult-oriented, like, mature-rated comic. So you would get F-bombs in it. You would get more violence. The Punisher, that's why the Punisher fits so well in there. Because you'd see a panel with the back of a dude's head just exploded, and you'd see the Punisher through the hole in the front of the guy's face. So it was a little crazy. And seeing that with Marvel taking that chance with these movies these series on Netflix, I think it pays off.
Yeah, and I mean, well, Jessica Jones was part of that series, wasn't it?
Yeah. Alias was.
Yeah. Not to be confused with the J.J. Abrams show. I think that was...
Yep. They kind of came out hand in hand. I remember when a buddy was telling me about that, Tom from Pencil and Ink Reviews, he was saying, you got to read this comic. I was like, is this based off the TV show? He's like, no.
He just smacks
it's really
you.
Not.
Yeah.
5 pages in, you see Jessica getting drilled by Luke Cage, and you're like, so this is okay.
All right, so I'm going to go to the bathroom and lock the door. Zip.
Yeah.
Is this limited edition? It is now.
Okay, so if we're going on the Marvel tangent, I mean, we've kind of discussed it with the whole, X-Men mutant thing, but X-Men Apocalypse, that's 2016.
Yeah.
What do you guys have an opinion about that?
The thing I'm curious about is they're kind of making it, X-Men Kids. So I'm not sure how that's going to be. It's kind of like, again, they're just trying to reboot this whole franchise, but keep everything in canon. So I think that's going to be tough for them to do.
Yeah, I think Fox really just doesn't give a shit, to be completely honest. They realize that they have a very hot property on their hands, and that people are going to be willing to see it, whereas Fantastic Four just doesn't have that fan base. You have a lot of us who grew up in the 90s with the X-Men cartoons and the comic books, and a lot of diehard fans that are going to go see the movie no matter what. Seeing the preview, I had like a mixed reaction of it, to be completely honest with you guys. I've gone past that point, and it was actually X-Men First Class that I kind of came to the realization that I was like, you know what? I'm just going to enjoy these for what they are. They're Fox-related movie properties, and that's all I'm going to think about it, because, I mean, they even can't keep it in their own canon, and with Days of Future Past, I know they tried to kind of write that, so I'm hoping that we get to see a decent movie out of Age of Apocalypse, but who knows, because once again, they're making their own thing, which isn't exactly a bad thing, but it just depends on how they handle it, who they have writing it, who they have directing it, and how they're willing to maintain it.
Yeah. I think, for me, I think First Class kind of brought it out of the direction they were going. I mean, after X-Men 3 and Wolverine Origins, I think First Class, they kind of started to right the ship, because I think First Class was far and above what X-Men 3 was, and far and above what probably Wolverine Origins was. With Days of Future Past, I mean, I kind of saw what they were going for. I kind of felt like they were more setting up Apocalypse. The movie was kind of like a big teaser for the one that's coming.
Yeah.
I do know with Apocalypse, I mean, I don't know. Did you guys see any of the first set photos where they had Apocalypse and people were like, this guy looks like fucking Ivan Ooze from the Power Rangers.
Yes. Yeah.
And then they promptly fixed that.
Yeah.
Well, I think they just didn't have time to. That was just a set picture. It wasn't, actual, finished product.
Right. Yeah. And I mean, they did show him expand in the trailer too, like to prove that this dude, basically is a god. And it really, I liked that. I kind of marked out for that moment because it reminded me of 90s X-Men and Apocalypse.
I mean, the movie looks better than I was afraid it was going to.
Yes, yeah.
I was afraid they were going to do something terrible with it, and it seems so far that it doesn't look terrible.
Yeah.
But I'm it's fingers crossed on that one because you don't know. I mean, because I don't know where they're taking it.
So I've got a movie that a trailer just dropped fairly recently is a movie I didn't even know that I wanted until I saw it. It's a movie that's out of the superhero realm. Recently, well, not recently, but it's basically the new Independence Day movie, Resurgence.
Yes.
Aliens coming down for a second time. Apparently the guy who wrote the script for this, he wrote 2 scripts, one with the Will Smith character and one without, because they didn't know if they had him signed on or not. But the way the trailer showed me, it's got me pretty excited for it.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, it's like you said, it's I didn't even know I wanted this, but I watched this trailer and I'm like, oh, all right, okay. Yeah. Jeff Goldblum? Sure. Oh, you got Bill Pullman? All right. Yeah. Why not?
Well, it seems like they did the right idea. It's like, hey, this is 20 years in the future. We've used the technology that we got, but, obviously we pissed somebody off and they're coming back.
Yeah, I was pleasantly surprised with this. I had no clue that this was coming. I next thing I knew was someone said, "Oh my gosh, did you guys see the trailer for this?" And I'm thinking, "Wait, what? There's a trailer out already? It must be like just still shots or something." And no, it was a full trailer, and I was pleasantly surprised. And like Richard said, it was like I didn't know that I wanted this, and so I was pretty excited to see that.
I heard rumblings about it like 6 months ago, but nothing really, static. Because the last I heard is Will Smith said no, so I was like, okay, well that's dead. They're not going to do it.
Yeah.
But they still pushed forward.
I did see there was a picture I saw like probably like 6 months ago or something. It was a picture of Jeff Goldblum and somebody else, and they were in front of a green screen talking about they were going to shoot something, and I was like, oh, okay, they're making another Independence Day. Like I guess like that's fine, whatever. And then you watch the trailer and you're like, oh, it's another Independence Day. I didn't know they were. I really didn't think they were at that point, and it was coming out that soon. Like it totally slipped under my radar.
Well, the best line ever. That's definitely bigger than the last one.
Yes, yeah, and that was cool too. That they were like, we're not playing around, and all of a sudden you just see this gigantic ship come out of nowhere. It's like,
was it just me, or did it look like it was the size of Earth?
Yeah, it did.
Yeah, roughly.
They're not even stopping. They're just going to drive right through Earth and say, "Fuck you guys."
Yeah, and I mean, since we're on the sci-fi realm of things, we also got a drop for the new Star Trek trailer as well. What did you guys think about that?
Yeah.
I'm not a big Trek fan. I've kind of just been catching up as the new movies have come out, but somebody was commenting on that, saying that they're going to use this movie and kind of forget about the one that was just behind it, the second Star Trek movie. Yeah. Like this is kind of like a starting point this is actually Star Trek 2, basically.
Yeah. Were you guys big fans of what was the name of it? Into Darkness?
I liked it, but like I said, I'm not a Trek purist.
I wouldn't consider myself a Star Trek super fan. I mean, I've watched the series, but I like I said, I wouldn't consider myself a super fan. This one looked really good. Like again, it's kind of like Independence Day. Like all right. And this trailer dropped like 3 or 4 days before Star Wars, and it kind of caught my attention. I was kind of like, oh, this movie doesn't look bad, and it kind of has that like that you get that kind of humor, that banter between Kirk and Spock and McCoy, and it's kind of what you would get. It seems like a cool, fun movie.
Yeah, and I think that's what they were aiming for, to be completely honest with you, because the casual, and I'm a casual Star Trek fan too. I've been watching some of the series as well on Netflix now that they have it on there, and I watched a little bit when I was a kid, but it really just didn't get my attention as much as like Star Wars did. And I think I overheard, I think Simon Pegg was writing it, or he had something to do with number 3. And I know he said something along the lines like the producers or whoever was, putting the budget together was like, no, you can't make it like Star Trek. You got to kind of make it more actiony. And I know that kind of got a lot of Star Trek purist fans a little upset. And I have some friends actually that are big Star Trek fans, and I know they're really not that excited to see this. Whereas I am. I think this is cool. I think it's brings the characters more to life to me. I understand that it gets away kind of from like the sci-fi intellect that Star Trek usually brings, but we don't know that. You have to have this a great eye-catching trailer in order to bring people on. And if you want to bring the general population on, you can't just be sitting there talking about all this, the sci-fi intellect. You're going to put people to sleep. And I'm sorry to say that, but that's just how it is.
I mean, you get the impression that they're pulling, they're pulling for a different audience than what you would consider to be a Star Trek audience. And I'm not sure what what villains they're using. I'm guessing that maybe they're using the Tholians, which they were in an episode of Star Trek where they like make this like web of light that's going to crush the Enterprise, but they end up talking them out of it or something like that. I don't remember, but it looks like these little ships that turn into like a big wave of ship, if that makes sense.
Yeah. I'm not sure. I don't know. My history of Star Trek is really not as good as like Marvel or Star Wars, so I couldn't tell you what this is all about. I was just like, oh wow, they're kind of showing more of the aliens and stuff and different species. And I was like, that's pretty cool.
But I think at the heart of that whole Star Trek thing, I think that I think that the creators of this are getting at the heart of why people like the show, and it's hey, there's some sci-fi stuff, but there's also like this relationship between Kirk and Spock and McCoy. Mm-hmm. And that's kind of that was the heart of the original series.
Yeah.
It was the relationship between kind of those 3 characters. I mean, there were other characters there too, and they were explored. But I would say that the original series kind of was, that was their focus, was on Kirk, Spock, and McCoy and the stuff that they did together. And I think that's what you're getting. That's the impression you're getting from this movie.
Yeah, no, I totally agree with you there, and you got a little bit of that just great camaraderie between all of them, and the funny parts where I believe it's Spock or whatever when he's with the Doc and he's like, at least we're not alone, and then he just disappears.
Do you guys have any other kind of things you're excited for 2016?
Oh, that's why you have to ask such a broad question. Like, hey, in the next year, what do you want to watch?
I just want to make sure we cover everything on your list, because I've got one I feel like we're going to cover every year we do this Bro Huddle.
Every single year?
When I say it, you're going to be like, yeah, probably, until this dude dies.
Oh, okay. So let's see. So we've hit up TV. We've got Daredevil. That new Luke Cage series. I mean, I've only seen still photographs. That doesn't look. I mean, building off of Jessica Jones, I'm kind of pumped for it.
Oh yeah.
There was Star Trek, Independence Day, Ninja Turtles.
We got Suicide Squad 2 is coming out as well.
Oh, Suicide Squad. Possibly the reason that Will Smith didn't do Independence Day.
Yeah.
Maybe.
Be my guess.
It's like, hey, I'm busy being Deadshot, goddammit.
But yeah, because they said he might be in the Batman standalone.
Yeah. Yeah, I heard about that too.
Yeah, because that was something that happened within the last 2 months. Like, there was a screening at Warner Brothers, and all of a sudden they're just like, okay, so we've seen this. Let's do 3 Batman solo movies.
Yeah.
And people are like, what? All right. We're okay. That's happening. You're getting a whole Batman reboot.
Yeah.
I mean, not 2016, but That's happening. So what else are we missing, Sean?
So we are missing a little bit of literature. And I've recently heard, and I think I've heard this last year as well, but supposedly our greatest author ever, George R.R. Martin, is going to release The Wind of Winter this spring.
Yes.
That's I did a little bit of investigation work, and there are people who are saying that that's the book they're excited for 2016. So I really hope that's the case.
Yes, I really hope so as well.
John, have you read all the books?
Yeah.
Okay. So I'm curious, are you guys just because I haven't read the books, all I have to go on is the series. So are both of you just hoping that the book comes out before the show so that way you can hurry up and read it and still feel superior to me because I haven't read the books? So that way when we sit and watch it together, when we watch Game of Thrones together, then you can be like, well, I've read the books, and in the book, this... well, you read the book 2 days ago.
Yeah.
Still happened.
Well, what you need to hope for, Rich, is when this series comes out, you can sit next to me and John as we're reading this book and be like, well, in the TV show.
Yeah, as I push up my glasses. You know.
Right.
Well, guys, no, I'm definitely excited for both of them. I am worried. I actually have not watched the last season yet.
Yeah, I'm in the same boat. I usually watch it the year it comes out on Blu-ray.
Yeah, me too.
Oh, well, I'm caught up, and actually in the show...
Well, I think right now we're both on an even playing field, because from what I've heard, the TV show ends basically where the last book is ended. So they're pretty much right at the same spot.
Well, I know from what I've read, like online and stuff, I know that the end of last season was the end of Bran's storyline in the story or in the books.
Yeah.
Like where the season where season 4 ends, that's where Bran is at the end of season 4 is where he is in the books.
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah,
so you don't see him at all in season, and you don't see him at all in season 5 because there's no story for him.
Yeah, and I mean, I've heard so many different rumors. Like George basically told the writers of the series on HBO the just the basics of what's going to happen in the storyline. And then you hear, well, no. He told them up to a certain point, and then they're gonna do their own thing, and they're gonna guess. So I don't know how it's gonna go. I mean, the writers have done a terrific job for the show, and they've really made it their own, but not straying away too far from the book as well. And they leave that for us that enjoy reading. They leave stuff open so that you can enjoy the book a little bit more, and in some instances, you can make it kind of like a companion series. Like, oh, well, this happened in the series, but in the book, we get a little bit more on so-and-so's thoughts, or this happened where it didn't happen on screen, because obviously you can't do that much. But oh, man, it's going to be interesting to see how things go. And I know, like, the new season, it's kind of already gotten spoiled for me from just HBO themselves. And
sure.
Then, I don't know. I don't want to be the jerk on the episode that spoils it for anyone else. And then you guys get emails and be like, fuck that John dude. Don't ever have him back, man.
He ruined Game of Thrones for me.
That guy likes Ray Stevenson as the Punisher.
Yeah. And then you can be like, well, actually, in the books, that
Yeah.
We can handle Sean. We can't have two of those guys.
But yes, no, I am totally excited for it. I hope it happens. It should happen. I know George has said that this series coming out as fast as it has kind of lit a fire under his ass, and so
it's come out once a year.
Yeah, I know, right?
It's lit a fire under his ass, and it's been 5 seasons. And we're still waiting for the book.
Yeah. So hopefully we do get it in 2016.
Hopefully before the show. So that way, like I said, I'm sitting on the couch with Sean, and then he can be like, if Lady Stoneheart was here, I'm like, shut up. Shut up.
All right, Richard, as we're bringing this bro huddle to a closure, I guess, do you want to throw out any Richard's closing thoughts?
2016, I think, could be a dangerous year because we have, we got some superhero movies. We've got some sci-fi movies. You've got stuff on TV. There's that danger of the general populace getting burnt out.
Yeah.
I think that we're getting towards we might possibly be getting towards the end of the era where geeks rule the television and the movie genre, and it might be straying towards something else. And I think the only way to maintain our hold is to just keep putting out consistent quality stuff. And it seems like with some of the stuff, that's what we're getting. I mean, from what you're seeing out of things like, like Daredevil and with Jessica Jones and with the last, with episode 7. And I think that we're still, we're in a good position. So now we just need to maintain it.
Yes. Or at the end of 2016, we all have to cut our underwear again so that when we get wedgied, it just comes off. So.
Yeah.
Whew. Those Avenger movies suck balls, dude. All right. Well, John, do you want to share all the great places they can find you on the interwebs?
Yeah. You can type in youporn.com. I'm on No, I have obviously podbros.com. I am the host of Podbros Promotions for all of those out there that want to get into whatever creations that they want to try to get into. I have different guests on that try to help you out while promoting themselves as well, so check that out. I'm also a part of plenty other shows, too many shows to sit here and name stuff. So go on podbros.com, find me there. You can also go on Twitter at Podbros Network or on Facebook at facebook.com/Podbros.
All right, well, and I'll do a little bit of my housekeeping for our show. Visit our website. We're at languageofbromance.com. Follow us on Twitter. We're at languageofbro. Email us at eatthebeaver@languageofbromance.com. Like us on Facebook. You can check us out on the Pocket Cast app on the iOS, Android, and Windows phone device. And subscribe and leave a review on iTunes and Stitcher.
And don't forget to check us out on the Podbros Network.
Because, John, what kind of podcast network is that?
Some Russian porn site. No, it's the best podcast network on the internet.
And if you're in the need for some headbuds to listen to the best podcast network on the internet, go to tweakedaudio.com, use the promo code LOBARMY, and you'll get 33% off. All right, well, is there anything else, guys, you want to talk about before I close her out?
Thank you once again for allowing me to be on your show. I hope once again I can come on in the future for the next 2017 preview.
That we got you on the calendar. I think Richard's going to mark that in there. So, John,
right.
for
not before that. You wait till next year.
No, thank you very much for coming on, and as always, thanks for having us on the network. We just passed our 1 year about a month or so ago, so it's been a fun ride, and we're hoping for a great 2016.
Hell yeah!
All right. Well, I guess that's all the bromance we have for this show. I'm Sean,
and I'm Richard,
and John. I'll let you do the honors.
Ooh, man. Well, I mean, sorry to keep talking about all this pornographic stuff, but I say let's eat the beaver.
Well, it wasn't pornographic till you see. We always left it ambiguous. Now they know what we're talking about.
Wait, that's what we've been talking about this whole time?
Rocco's Modern Life erotic fanfic.
If Lady Stoneheart was here, she wouldn't have said that.